Guys, welcome back to this episode 8. We got understanding the design sprint. We got about some few more part to go, so let's get started.
I hope that you've enjoyed your first 2 weeks of the course. So far, you've learned about the UX design career field, explored common UX design frameworks, and learned about user-centered design. You also spent some time with my colleague Shabi to understand equity-focused design and the importance of accessibility in the design process. Now it's time to switch gears and learn about the world of design sprints, including the phases of a design sprint and how to plan and participate in one. You'll also learn about retrospectives, which are a way to reflect on a design sprint and identify areas of improvement to implement into your designs. Okay, let's get to it.
Let's move to the next video.
Hey, welcome back. So far, we've covered common terms, frameworks, and tools that entry-level UX designers should know. We've also talked about the importance of user-centered design and why UX designers should focus on equity in the design process. Let's start with a little exercise. Take a look around the room you're in right now. Notice the shape of your table and the ergonomics of your chair. What about the device you're using to play this video on right now? All that stuff and almost everything else around you started off as a design problem or a design challenge. So, how does something go from a design challenge to an actual user-centered product? One way is through design sprints. A design sprint is a time-bound process with 5 phases, typically spread out over 5 full 8-hour days. The goal of design sprints is to solve a critical design challenge through designing, prototyping, and testing ideas with users.
Where's the gun of design sprint? I think is this one. They just say this one. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why can't? Huh? This is the answer. This one, the middle one is the answer. I don't know why I can't press. It's kind of suck. Anyway, just skip it.
At Google, we use design sprints to answer questions, define product directions, figure out cross-team strategies, and even build team culture. For example, I was recently a part of a design sprint for Google's transparency report. The goal was to better understand how our users experience the reports. We also discussed the website's goals, values, and future vision. Design sprints generally include 5 phases: understand, ideate, decide, prototype, and test. We'll come back to these phases and investigate each one later. So, what makes a design sprint so useful? For one, design sprints save time. With a sprint, your team can cut the decision-making process down from several months to a single week. Sprints also create an effective path to bring a product to market. Sprints prioritize the user, putting their needs front and center. And sprints allow you to fast forward into the future to test your product and get customer reactions before making any expensive decisions. Running a design sprint is like using a superpower. With all these benefits, you'd think every product team would want to run design sprints. But that's not always the case. Before launching into a design sprint, you need to review your design challenge and ask yourself these key questions. Are there many potential solutions to your design challenge? Does the design challenge require people from cross-functional teams to weigh in? Is the design challenge's scope wide enough for a sprint? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, a design sprint might be the right move. All right, so you've got the basic idea behind design sprints down. Now you know what a design sprint is, the benefits of running a design sprint, and how to identify when to use a design sprint. Next, let's check out each phase of the design sprint process.
Let's move to the next one.
Hi again. Let's think back to those 5 design sprint phases we introduced earlier. Understand, ideate, decide, prototype, and test. Now, we're going to go beyond introductions and really get to know each phase. A traditional design sprint lasts 5 days, with each phase taking up to 1 full day. The whole process is super hands-on. Creative collaboration is at the core of every phase. Let's explore how a team might conduct a design sprint. Imagine you're a UX designer for a company called Cycling Enthusiasts. Your latest app lets cyclists track their distance ridden and calories burned. Sadly, the app's sales have started slumping. Kind of like how your energy would start slumping if you had actually taken a long bike ride today. So, how can a design sprint solve this problem? Let's find out. The understand phase sets your sprint on the right track and helps your team get a clear picture of the design challenge. Your team takes time to learn from experts and engage in creative discussions with a lot of different people from other departments and industries. These conversations help you more clearly understand the design challenge. But what's the first rule of UX design? The user comes first. This means everything your team does during the sprint should focus on the user. So now your team understands the design challenge. For our imaginary sprint, let's say sales are slumping because the app doesn't offer bicyclists anything new. Your team arrives for phase 2 of the design sprint, pumped full of inspiration and ready to ideate some solutions. To get the creative juices flowing, you start this phase by coming up with ideas and building off of them to create solutions. Once you've got the team thinking, each participant takes time to sketch and present their ideas. Don't worry about your drawing skills here. The idea is what matters. On top of all the ideating that happens in phase 2, you also need to start planning for user testing, which happens in phase 5 of the sprint. During user testing, you'll have a diverse group of people test your product and provide feedback. To be able to do this, you need to start recruiting users that fit your target profile now, so the sprint stays on schedule. By the time you reach phase 3, you have a lot of potential solutions for your design challenge. Now it's time to decide which solutions you want to build. Together, your cycling app team discusses each possible solution and eventually decides on the one solution that is most likely to excite users and increase sales. For example, the solution might be a feature that uses the cyclist's location to create customized routes that meet their fitness goals. Sounds pretty cool, right? Finally, you'll wrap up the day by creating a step-by-step blueprint for your prototype. Next, phase 4, prototype time. You're now ready to build the first version of your new app feature. At the end of this phase, you don't need a finished product, just something realistic enough to test with users. By focusing only on what the user experiences on their screen, your team creates a working prototype of the new customized routes feature. Way to go! During this phase, you also finish prepping for user testing by confirming the test schedule, finalizing interview questions, and making sure your prototype is good to go. All right, it's been a busy week, but you did it. You reached the final phase, testing. Now it's time to put your prototype in front of users. As users test your prototype, you observe how they react and then interview them about their experiences. Your team gains critical insight about changes that need to be made before you launch the new feature. To recap,
Idiot. Oh shit. So I think it's understand, right? understand. Do you guys believe me? Yes, I do.
5 phases of design sprints are: understand the scope of the design challenge, ideate possible solutions, decide on the most viable solution, create a workable prototype, and finally, test that prototype with actual users. Congrats! You made it to the end of the sprint. Now your team knows exactly what to adjust before launching the new cycling app feature. Promotions for all! Design sprints are a big part of the UX design world, so you'll probably participate in a lot of them, and even lead a few someday. Coming up, we'll explain why design sprints are beneficial to UX designers.
Okay, let's move to the final video.
Ready to learn even more about design sprints? Me too. From tech to finance to retail, future forward companies in all kinds of different industries use design sprints to solve complex problems. In other words, sprints are pretty much a game changer. But what makes design sprints beneficial? And why are they so darn popular?
Damn.
Here's what a few seasoned UX designers have pointed out. First, in design sprints, it's all about the user. Sprint participants make sure the design challenge is always focused on the user and their needs. After all, it's the users who ultimately decide if your product is successful, right? Second, sprints value every person in the room, from the office intern to the senior stakeholder. Including people from lots of disciplines and experience levels is a key part of the process. Why? Because considering all angles of the problem and the solution means the best ideas will rise to the top. Next, sprints give the core team time to focus solely on the design challenge. Think about it. 5 work days devoted entirely to distraction-less, gadget-less creative collaboration. Now, that's a recipe for some serious problem solving. Also, sprints lower the risk of an unsuccessful market debut because the team gets feedback from real users and can make critical adjustments before the product launches. And finally, sprints are versatile because they can be scheduled at any point during your project. When a challenge arises, you've always got the design sprint option in your back pocket. So, are you sold on the benefits of a design sprint yet? Awesome. Next, let's focus on how to plan an effective one.
Okay. Next is written part. Oh my fucking god. This a lot. Yeah. Oh fuck. Never mind. Just press post the video and read it. Okay. Do you get ready? Let's start and practice on assignment. Just take out a paper, write your answer down, and then we check it later, okay? Let's get started. How does a design sprint solve design challenge? Allow unlimited time to make the allowed wedge of design phase and growth. First person prototype phase 3 of a design sprint. The design phase, what's the team goal? Why might a team consider conducting a design sprint? To develop cross team strategy, to identify which the design centers around. Let's go. Submit. Oh, nice. I got 81.12. Do you got how many percent do you get, guys? Okay. this the end of episode 8. About those links like this one, I will put it at the comment part. So if you want, just come to the comment part. Episode 9, we will talk about plan design sprint. This one, and also this one. Anyway, this is the end of episode 8. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.